And we are live.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Evening.
Artcasters Chat 5. So let's. I'll go through my list in order of how they appear to me. Everybody appears differently in your windows, so don't worry about it. But first, we have Dave, a newcomer.
Hello.
Say hi and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about what you're up to.
Well, I don't know if I'm the first British Artcaster to join the chat, but it feels pretty special. I feel like we're breaking new ground here. It's awesome. But I'm Dave Gaskin, also known as Biker Scout. I'm on Twitter and DeviantArt. If you search for me, you'll find me on there. And yeah, I just draw for a hobby really, and found all you guys online and through Jeff and joined the group, and it's just like daily inspiration. It's awesome. So I knew I had to get into the chat. I watched the previous ones, and they're all great. So good evening to you all from a very dark England.
Welcome, Dave.
Thanks for coming. Appreciate you being here. And then we have Eric, another newcomer.
Yep. Hi, I'm Eric. I'm Eric Webb. I run my own business, Eric Webb Graphics, and I do my own web comics and comic style art on the side. And I've known Peter for a couple of years now online, and was excited to be extended the invite to come out and do this little Artcasters thing. And I missed Synergy. I'll have to get the next Synergy. And
okay, cool.
And excited to talk shop with some people. I don't get to talk shop too often, so, nice to meet everybody.
Well,
nice to meet you too.
Then we have Jeff.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff Lafferty, jefflafferty.net, and I don't know. That's it. Everybody knows me already.
Yeah, and then we have John, another frequent flyer.
Heyo! For anybody who hasn't seen, I'm John Grzeski, aka Zombirai. I do Everyday Abnormal. It's a urban fantasy webcomic with horror and drama and romance and gunfights and the occasional boob.
Boob?
Yeah, it has an occasional boob.
Okay.
Now that I've intrigued you,
check that out.
Then there's me, Peter Palmiotti. I am the gracious host of Artcasters Hangout, and eventually I'll have my website, humanartstudio.com, up, but you can find me everywhere. Just type my name.
Welcome, Peter.
Thanks, Jeff. So, let's see. So last time we didn't get into a solution, or if we want to actually do something in regards to promoting people via this chat, as well as the group on Facebook.
Yeah.
Did you have any further thoughts on that, Jeff?
I don't know. I know we left it kind of open, but I guess I just didn't quite understand. I mean, like, are we picking somebody like on the show to promote, or is there like a group of us that we all get in a group and drawing straws or something? I don't know. That was the part I didn't quite understand. And then I know we didn't pick anybody, so I just didn't promote anybody.
Yeah. Well, I figured we would just promote somebody who joined us in the chat. It would be
just in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like we can choose from the group here to promote throughout the week, and if anybody wants to get involved in the group and whatnot, I'll pin a post, you know, like promote this person and various links and whatnot.
Okay.
So if that sounds cool, we can just randomly choose somebody.
Okay. You pick.
Well, I'll pick Dave since he is part of Artcasters group on Facebook, and as well as his first time here. So you can message me on Facebook, Dave, later if you have any specific links you want to promote, like, you know, if you have anything up on eBay or anything for sale or just your website.
Maybe that's how it should work. Maybe like the guy who comes on who's got something to promote, because sometimes, you know, people have something and sometimes they don't. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I know Dave does, like he does his sketch cards like all in a bulk at the end of the month or something, right, Dave?
Well,
Like on
yeah.
eBay?
In terms of stuff going on eBay, I'm not going to have time to do much at the moment because of the whole moving house thing. Today has just been completely bonkers.
Yeah.
I finished that Robin Williams, the pencil stage of that today, which was really good. But I think from this point on, I'm gonna have to drop back on the drawing even more. So, I mean, you know, I've got all my stuff on DeviantArt, and you know, there's links to that we can have, and but I don't know.
That sounds good.
I feel a bit shy being promoted. I don't know. But it's very kind.
You're moving right now.
Well, I just kind of meant for the future, you know what I mean? Then that maybe give us an easier way to choose or something, you know what I mean? Which I know we don't have Kickstarters going or anything, but if somebody's got something, I don't know, big, then we can all kind of push our efforts towards them or something.
I don't know if you've been keeping up with what I decided not to do a Kickstarter, but I'm just doing a limited edition of Bright Eyes pre-order.
Oh, cool.
In my store. So I could post a link to my store, and if anybody's interested in getting it's an artist edition. It will come with a white cover. I'll do a sketch of the character for each individual cover, a sort of a card with stats on it of the character, and a print of what the regular cover will be. So
it's like a kind of shorter edition of like what the book's going to look like, or is that what you mean?
It's going to be like when I finish the first issue, it's a pre-order. So when I finish the first issue, it will be in like a sort of limited edition artist, edition.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, so I'll post that link into the description of this video. That goes up.
Yeah, I missed that. I mean, were you talking about in your videos? I actually missed watching a few videos over the last couple of days for some reason.
Yeah, well, I've been sort of catching up. I had some old footage, just been catching up in videos. But that was day 54.
Yeah.
Was when I talked about it. And
yeah, I saw you made the big dump into Patreon. Like one night in May, man. I'm like, I didn't have time to go watch them all, but eventually I'll get over there and watch them.
Well, one of the things I said in the video is that anybody who's a patron of me now automatically gets one.
No way, I gotta pay for it, dude.
You can always buy an extra copy, but no, man. Everybody who's a Patreon gets one of the copies, and I'll be doing special offers like this down the line. So keep in mind, if you're not a patron of me, then you can join up now and possibly get something like this in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, that's totally cool too. I mean, true. Cool. Whatever I'm trying to say there. Everybody should get on Peter's Patreon out there in Google Plus land, because he's awesome. He does all the work to get these things working.
That's great.
You gotta go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, does anybody have any challenges from the past week that they're facing that they wanted to bring to the group?
Nothing I want to talk about. Probably nothing anybody wants to hear about, but
Yeah.
Gotta narrow it down.
Drawing us in again, man. You're giving us like a little tease.
I know.
That's not very fair, really.
Yeah, that's probably true, but it's too late now. Sorry, guys.
Mm.
Okay, how about workload? How do you deal with? You have the dry spells if you're taking commissions and doing artwork, every week, and you have these little dry spells, and then suddenly, say you do something to generate work, and then you get too much work. How do you deal with that? I'm dealing with that all. It's like one or the other. It's never in between.
Yeah, totally.
How do you guys deal with that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I always deal with my dry spells by doing stuff for eBay and trying to get more. You know what I mean? And then, like, I don't know. Like, it is hard when you get so many, and then you get people waiting and emailing you and be like, hey, where's my thing? And you're like, they never realize you're doing like all this stuff for everybody else, but it's you know what I mean? It just seems like you're not doing their stuff. So
You're only working for them.
Huh?
You're only working for them.
Right. Right. I always just try to stack them and get one. I try not to like do two pieces at a time. You know what I mean? I always try to make people wait because it's like I notice like if I try to do two things at once, then two people are just mad at me. You know what I mean? So I really try to just make a list and then be like, this is the list, this is the way it is, and then I also try to keep in contact and email people, which I know that sends people into like craziness if they don't feel like you're paying attention to them and stuff. So that's the way I deal with it. But.
I think we all get like that though. So I try to update or just at least contact them once a week. But
yeah.
Can't always do.
Yeah. What kind of stuff do you do, Eric? I mean, you kind of skimmed over it. You're doing a webcomic now?
Yeah, I summed it up very vaguely. I do like character art commissions and comic pages and graphic design.
Okay,
cool. A little bit of everything in those realms.
Do you make your living doing like just this then?
Yep.
Like between all your stuff? Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
nice.
Fortunate enough to say I do.
Yeah, that's great.
It's all basically so that I can go do my own stuff. But ironically, it takes up more time, so I don't get to do my stuff as much as I want.
Yeah.
But I force myself to do a webcomic once a week. That's about all I do for myself really right now.
Oh, that's cool, though. That's a lot, though, doing a webcomic. That's a huge amount of work, so.
Yep, that's at least 2 or 3 days to do one page for me.
Really, so. Yeah. What's your comic, actually?
It's Jumping Boy.
Jumping Boy?
Yeah, just Jumping Boy webcomic. Should be able to Google it. It's on my website.
Okay,
but,
cool.
But it should be in Google or something.
I'll check it out.
I try to make sure to do that once a week. Otherwise, I go crazy if I don't do something for myself,
Yeah.
So.
Where do you get your commissions? Just kind of out of your audience that read the webcomic, or?
No, the webcomic's kind of secondary to all the business stuff. I actually started on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually haven't done that for a while, and then I went back a year or two ago. They really changed it a lot. But 5 years ago, it was a lot different.
eBay has changed a lot. I've been noticing that too. You
used to be able to say put up multiple commission auctions or something like that, and now they only let you have one at a time. It can't be the same thing.
Yeah, they won't let you duplicate. Yeah.
And,
even though it's really not the same thing, you know what I mean? But.
Yeah, and I guess they let you do a quantity. You could do that. But I did start out doing that, and I do it on occasion whenever I'm like selling a finished artwork. I don't do commissions through it so much anymore.
Yeah.
But then DeviantArt is a great resource. Post in their job forum all the time.
Oh, you actually go in the forum and post? I wondered if that's any good in there.
It is, and that goes to any of your followers on DeviantArt. They see that like a journal.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize that, but apparently they do. And but you can post an ad that you're available and your prices, but you can also go and skim what people need somebody for.
You can do what? What was that last part?
Well, there's two different forms, or two different sections. There's one where you can post an ad with your prices and stuff, and then the other one is people looking for somebody to do a job specifically.
Oh yeah, and go in there and look and see. Yeah.
So both of those have been great resources. And then from there, you get a lot of word of mouth, and the more you post new work, they see what you're doing, and it's just kind of a, I don't know, it's a
Yeah, I've noticed that it builds on itself, once people realize they're doing it.
Even if you just like post one thing a day, keep traffic going, it seems like it helps.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes hit or miss. Like I said, there's times I'll be like, all right, I guess this is going to be a slow month, and then I'll go and throw a sale to just generate some money, and then I end up with like 20 things, and then all these other jobs who are waiting just come in. I'm like, what the? So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm too much.
Got too much stuff. Yeah.
But I don't make enough. I want to hire anybody to help. I don't make enough.
Yeah.
That's the curse of freelancing.
Yeah, I can't be an assistant. In the end, I want the money. I can't afford to. So.
Yeah. Do you consider, you're talking about doing your own work? Like, do you consider getting those commissions and stuff your own work? I mean, I a lot of times feel. Well, I mean, you said you work to do your own stuff, and then you were saying your webcomics kind of like your own stuff. But do you consider like your commissions you get off DeviantArt like your own stuff? And
yeah, my art, but the client retains all the rights. So.
Well, yeah, I
always approach each one like they're mine, but I retain the rights to each portfolio or whatever. But
yeah.
It's mine when I'm making it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. Why am I working on this? Like, if it's not mine, or I'm trying to do it in a way that I wouldn't want to do.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to make each one your own.
Yeah. Well, yeah. A lot of times I feel like commissions are fun. Like a lot of the ones that that I don't like doing. A lot of times just like jobs. You get some weird thing you can't show, nobody wants to see. Those are the ones I hate.
Yep. I've had the worst ones I won't even put my signature on. I'm just like, here you go.
Right.
Yeah. I try to do them good too, but I'm not going to show anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might try that DeviantArt thing. What about you, Dave? You got any challenges like that?
I've never tried it. Is it good?
Oh.
Well, I know it's a different kind of social setup.
Oh, no, I was talking about DeviantArt actually. I said I probably might try the forums of DeviantArt. I haven't tried that yet. I post for commissions on DeviantArt. It works really well, but I never went in the forums and done it. So.
Yeah, it's worth checking out. There's even, if you have the time to spare, there's even one where you can just post thumbnails of your artwork that you have on DeviantArt, and anything for exposure,
Yeah.
So
have you noticed DeviantArt slowing down? I mean, I used to really, YouTube, yeah. Because like 4 or 5 years ago, man, DeviantArt was crazy. I'd post something, I get like 30, 40 comments.
Even
now
like
it's like, yeah. Now it just seems like 5, 6 comments. I'm just like, where the hell is everybody?
Everybody's moving to Tumblr.
I think it's the way social media is changing now, really, isn't it? With Facebook and most people will like something, but they very rarely comment unless they really have that extra 30 seconds. You add something to your favorites and you've got to scroll back down to add a comment, and it's too much for some people, man. They just want to go in, like it, and on to the next thing,
And I want feedback. I don't want just a like.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's nice to know that there's somebody there and they've seen it. But at the same time, it's always more encouraging to get that comment and a little bit of feedback. And oftentimes it's just, oh, it's great, I love it. But then you get other people. I think it's how I found Mark Ratz. He was on DeviantArt, and that's how we first met on there. I think I've been on for about 9 years now, and right at the beginning, I was getting so many more page views and deviation views than I do now, and I think it's just the way that website's just kind of exploded in terms of its popularity and its size. And unfortunately, you get a lot of the you just get the tween audience for a lot of it as well. So they won't appreciate the artwork in the same way that people like us who are on there and really trying to find that encouragement and the conversation with people and
that's what you want, but you don't really get that.
Yeah.
And the tweens, no, they're the ones that leave the, I'll just call them unhelpful comments.
Yeah.
Sometimes those comments can be too helpful, though. It's like, just keep some of that help, will you?
Yeah. I think they call those trolls. Yeah. But it's still a pretty good resource. It's not the main thing anymore, but I think people are still using it. Anywhere you can post links to your main site or anything like that's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's not dead by any means. No. You're pretty active on DeviantArt, Dave, aren't you? I mean, I see a lot of your stuff on there.
I mean, I think a lot of the people who follow me on Facebook and perhaps some of the ones off Twitter as well all found me through DeviantArt. I think that's where I got my biggest following to start. Not that I've got a following because that sounds a bit creepy, but the biggest number of people who were actively interacting and giving me the likes and the comments and stuff. So I don't want to turn my back on it because it kind of it got me through a few doors, if you like, and not in a major way, but so I can't kind of turn my back on that and just favour Facebook because not everybody likes Facebook. But DeviantArt, I just keep uploading stuff, but I don't spend so much time writing journals and that sort of thing. But I tend to upload as many process shots as I can and doing tutorials and that sort of thing. And I think in my gallery, like the top deviation is like a tutorial from like 5 or 6 years ago, which I look at. It's a little bit embarrassing, but I think the people who are finding it are sort of just starting out. So it's interesting who you attract with the stuff that you put on there. But yeah, I think a lot of people who are liking my stuff are perhaps in the same sort of boat I was maybe 7 or 8 years ago, and just starting out painting digitally. And I didn't have the same resource that they have now. I mean, there's just so much stuff. Whereas 10 years ago, it wasn't quite so, quite so vast.
It's building at a rapid rate, that's for sure. I don't even know what another 10 years is going to be like.
Seems like Tumblr is the main thing, though.
I don't, the thing is, I dig, I'm on Tumblr, I post on Tumblr. I really have a hard time seeing it the same as DeviantArt, though. Like with DeviantArt, you can comment and talk, and Tumblr just seems to be I don't quite get what's going on there with the shares, and, it just seems there be like interaction but not interaction,
The key with Tumblr that I found is your tagging and how you're adding your keywords at the bottom. That seems to be the main way that people find stuff on Tumblr.
Yeah.
I've had varied success on there. I've put 1 or 2 things on, and all it takes is one big fan page to reblog something. And then I think the one day I did an Arrested Development thing, and a fan page reblogged it, and my phone just lit up for like 3 or 4 hours constantly because it was reblog, liked, reblog. Oh, it was nuts. But it's only happened maybe once or twice in sort of 5 or 6 years. So it's a bit hit and miss. I've not really cracked Tumblr.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with Tumblr is that it's not really designed to have conversations or foster a particular sense of community or anything. It's designed to make things go viral, right? It's one click, no muss, no fuss. You reblog something, you like something, and that's pretty much your options. You don't really have a lot of options to get into a lot of back and forth and everything. It's not designed for that.
That's it. It's the single click thing again. It's basically you reblog it and that's all you can do. So that kind of sets the whole mind frame, I guess, for a way a lot of people perhaps view the web and how they view art. It's just literally I like it and I don't want to say anything else.
It's kind of a bad setup for some people. I mean, if you've got kind of idiosyncratic art, or if you've got something like my comic, which is long, it's a long form thing, and one page doesn't really do anything for anybody. That's not a good platform to kind of use as much.
Yeah.
There are other platforms that are better. Peter turned me on to it. Tapastic is very, very good if you've got a webcomic and it's more of a long form thing.
Tapastic is neat. I mean, I've been to that site. I think it's a cool site. It looks like there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah, I've only posted a couple things so far, but it's very. I like that it's just the comic and nothing else. And I think if you've got if you do art, but it's not as easily rebloggable, I think kind of going back to the original thing, DeviantArt is still the better choice.
Yeah. Are you reposting your comic on DeviantArt also?
I kind of started and then kind of got out of the habit because my life has been in tumult for the last couple months, and then when it kind of settled down, I just kind of forgot about it. I need to. I think when I catch up, because I'm starting reposting my comic on Tapastic, just every couple days post a new thing, and once I get caught up to where I was on DeviantArt, then just mirror them both.
Yeah.
So then I'll have my. Then I'll be catching up to my main post and the comic in two different spots, and then I'll still have my Comic Fury page uploading the newest stuff.
Yeah, I think it's probably a good thing, especially if there's going to be like a, whatever ecosystem growing there at Taptastic, where people are just into that site and hang out there. May as well grab those fans that you can get there.
Yeah. Well, and just mirroring, that's a hard word. Just mirroring stuff in general seems to be a good idea. Just have as many eyeballs on it as possible.
Yeah, because when I'm talking about like DeviantArt dying, it's like I think nothing's died like my site. My site has just died. It seems like everybody talks to me on Facebook and all these other places. Just hardly anybody goes to my site anymore.
Jeff, haven't you turned off the thing where it sort of accumulates all of your comments? I noticed last time I looked at your blog, you hadn't got all like the group comments at the bottom that are kind of coming in from everywhere.
Yeah, I turned that off because it just got so like overwhelming.
Oh.
It's in Blogger. It's like one of, I don't know. There's like I'm trying to think how I got that on. It's like I don't know. You know how you put stuff in your sidebar?
Mm-hmm.
In Blogger. Do you have a Blogger or whatever? There's like a thing in. Oh, you don't? So you don't know what it is? I don't know if you wanted to know how to do it or not, but yeah. That's how I did it. There was like a thing when Google Plus and YouTube went together. There was, I guess, because Blogger's on Google. You know what I mean? It's a Google thing. It gave me like the thing to turn it on, and I turned it on, and then it was just so, I don't know. There's so much comments coming in. And then I felt like I needed to answer them and stuff, and it just got crazy, you know what I mean? And I just was like, I couldn't find the stuff on Facebook where people commented, and I was feeling like I was ignoring people. So finally I just kind of turned that off. But
I think I did have a page on there a few years ago, and I think I made like 2 blogs, and nobody was reading it, so it was just my, just letting everything out of my head. And if I go back and look at it, I'm sure I'll be incredibly embarrassed, so I won't be sharing that link. But
well, I mean, Blogger was a free thing that I could figure out how to make kind of a website out of, so that's why I picked it. I was just like, hey, I can stick 2 of these together and make a website. So. I'm sorry, what was that?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm using it too. The main reason is because it's so custom. Like, you can get in there and mess with all the code. You can blow it up, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, you can make it. I could strip the thing off the top and nobody'd know it, but I don't know. I figure they're giving it to me for nothing, so.
So
hey, Marshall, how you doing?
Marshall's with us.
What's going on? Do you hear me?
Hey, Marshall.
Yep.
Hello.
So you were just at a convention this weekend, right?
Yes, sir. Sure was. That was yesterday. It was pretty fun. It's called BingCon, and it's pretty much it's a convention put on by like a local artist, and it's a lot of local guys. And it's a really cool place to hang out. To be honest, I didn't really sell much, but I don't know if they know how to get the crowd in there very well yet. But it was fun, and it was a cheap table.
How many years have they done it?
This is their 2nd year. The first year I actually did sell well. For me, this is a lot, but it was like I think I sold about 120 worth of stuff. So this year I sold $13 worth of stuff.
Oh man.
It's all right though. I mean, for me, it's like I didn't want to miss it because this is the chance, one of the chances I get to hang out with all like the local artists and friends and stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's always the best part to a convention. Also making new contacts and
Yes.
customers.
Yeah, I did my first convention ever as an artist last year, almost as a favour to a friend on Twitter. And he said, "Oh, come along and have a table." And I was like, "Okay." So I agreed, and then I was like, "Well, what do I do now? You know, what do I have to take with me and all that sort of thing?" And it was just 6 months of pure stress in the lead up.
Yeah.
And then on the day, I was just like a bag of nerves. But as soon as people started coming in and talking, it was an awesome time. But it was mainly just to meet people, and there were a lot of people that I'm friends with on Twitter, and we all kind of grouped together and all arrived, and there was that initial shyness of, I know you, but I don't want to speak to you just yet. And then by the end of the day, it's like bear hugs and, you know, pats on the back. And but yeah, that's the one that I'm going back to at the start of October. And it's only their second year, but they've gone to like a bigger venue with double the tables, and
Wow.
it's the only con I do. Yeah, it's quite a small one, and it's good fun.
That's cool. Do they have big cons over there in the UK somewhere?
Yeah, we have one. We have the ones in London and Birmingham, where I'm from, and then they have some up in Manchester, and they're the big ones. And I think there's a few others. There's a Sheffield one, and I think they even have one over in Wales.
In Wales.
Is there one called Thought Balloon?
Thought Bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have that one. There's a few of the guys I know who go to that quite regularly, and they seem to do really well. But yeah, this one's a little one. It's called Nottingham Comic Con in Nottingham, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it this year. Whereas this time last year, not as much.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love doing them actually, but I agree they're stressful before you get there.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a lot of work just trying to get this stupid mini comic done, you know, and it's fun. I mean, I'm glad to have like the artificial like deadline to make me get it done. So that was cool, but it was so stressful this week trying to get the thing done, and it's like I sold one copy of it for $2. You know, it's like, geez.
Yeah, well, congrats on getting it done. I saw that post. I don't know if I commented or not, but yeah, I was like, wow, that's cool. One of these 100 Days of Comics guys that knocked one out before the 100 days. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Not to bust on anybody.
See all the guys who are doing the 100 Days of Comics and stuff. I'm just like, geez, how do you do that? I haven't got the stamina. I just don't have the stamina.
Well, what are you talking about, dude? You were doing the year of sketch cards, I remember.
Yeah, I failed. So
But didn't you make it like 4 or 5 months though? I mean, you made it a ways though, didn't you?
Well, I bit off more than I could chew, and it was mainly just to make sure I did some drawing, because last year I barely did anything. So I started off, gave myself a head start and did a couple over Christmas, and then started putting them out on January the 1st. And I think I did like 60, something like that. But it was so tough, man. I was like, I get home from work, and the last thing I want to do is sit down and draw. Well, it's what I would like to do, but often, you know, you have a crappy day at work, and it's like, oh man, I just want to go to bed.
Especially getting something like completely finished. It's one thing to sit down and do some drawing, but like beginning to end, that's tough.
Well, yeah, I mean, I definitely sped up as well, because it's quite, you know how I draw. It's so precise and small and delicate, and, you know, I definitely sort of sped up over time, which was really good. So then I was sort of cranking them out in maybe an hour or so, which just about worked, but it just got on top of me in the end, and I was like, okay, hands up, can't do it.
Oh, that's amazing, cranking it out in an hour or so. I mean, I crank mine out in about an hour or so, but that's because mine aren't nearly as good as yours.
But these are so small. I think that's what a lot of people, well, obviously those people who know what sketch cards are know how small they are, but, you know, when you scan it in and it fills somebody's screen when they're looking at it online, I don't think they realise that it's so small. And that's why everybody says, oh, why do you always put your pencils in your photos? And it's like, well, just so you know how big it is, you know?
Yeah.
These aren't giant pencils I'm using. These are, you know, little normal pencils. So.
I wonder if that would translate, actually. That's a good idea if you had, like, giant pencils. You know what I mean? Maybe you could just draw giant stuff as fast as you draw tiny stuff with little pencils.
Just have a big industrial sheet of paper and just run around with a massive pencil. That could be quite fun.
Put it out in the driveway and just go to town.
So Andrew Jones poses a question in the event page. He asks if anybody's participating in Inktober.
Inktober.
Is that just something Jake Parker
Inktober.
started?
That sounds familiar.
Isn't Inktober where you draw something in ink for every day in October? I think that's the general premise, isn't it?
I think so.
It was started by Jake Parker, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Probably will by default. I pretty much use ink every day, so.
Let's see. Inktober.
Is anybody? I think that's what it was. It was like, basically practice your inking every day and post it online. I don't really ink, so I didn't follow it, but.
I remember it like last year and maybe the year before. I think Ryan Wheaton was messing with it a little bit, but like it's definitely a lot of inspiring stuff to look at for sure.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that. I might have to do it this year.
I'm out.
You know what? You know what's a real hard one to do is the 30 characters in 30 days.
Oh yeah, yeah, that is.
There's so many of these nowadays. It's pretty fun though.
Did you try that one, Marshall?
Yeah, I did it. The first year I completed it. The second year I didn't do it, and then the third year I went about halfway.
Yeah.
When did I do that one?
November.
Yeah, I even kind of thought about trying that, but I just have so much stuff to do that I just, if I'm not doing my stuff I need to sell, I don't have time to do other stuff. So
Yeah, that's
even
that's a very involved one.
Yeah, even like the challenge thing on the Artcasters, I was like, man, I don't know if I should make a challenge because I don't have no time to draw extra stuff. Everybody seemed to want it, so.
I thought I'd bust mine out, as soon as that challenge went up. And here we are, months almost over, and I'm like, I think I can work on it tomorrow.
Right. Well, you still got time. I mean, it's 6 days or something. So.
And I really just need one. I really just need one free day to get that done. But it's just funny how that creeps up on you so fast when you're an artist.
Yeah. I'm worried about the next one because, like, the first one, Travis, he's the one who came up with it. He wanted to do Star Wars, so I'm like, that's cool. Everybody will want to do Star Wars, but I don't know what to pick now for the next one that anybody's going to want to do. I think we pick something, random. Everybody's going to be like, oh, screw that. But did you do one yet, Dave, for the Star Wars thing?
Yeah, I did that. The Padme sketch
right.
I used the Strathmore paper for the first time, which was really nice because it was so much smoother than the stuff that I normally use.
Yeah, I got that. You're right. I remember as soon as you said that, I got that saved on my computer. So
yeah, I
really
got
nice.
it out fairly early, really.
Yeah,
did some amazing stuff. I mean, man, there were a couple of Boba Fett's, I think, in the last couple of weeks that kind of both came in at the same time. They were amazing.
Yeah.
And Steele's Obi-Wan, his watercolor one. That's just like, man.
That was the one that. Yeah, that was the one I was thinking of. That Obi-Wan in watercolor. That was like, jeez, Louise. So, you should get in on that too, Marshall. You haven't done one yet, have you?
Oh, I've been planning to, but I just haven't gotten to it. It's mostly because I've been trying to squeak this comic out.
Right.
But I'll probably get one in.
Yeah.
Maybe tonight.
Yeah, I'll get mine in this week.
Cool. You better, Peter.
Yeah.
That's part of being the host of the Artcasters chat. You can't not get an Artcasters challenge. You have a lot of work to do, dude.
Yeah.
What you donate all? Do you donate all your money? Just curious, Dave. Do you donate all your money that you make up of eBay to that cancer thing, or what's the deal with that?
Yeah, it was. Well, it's mainly because I feel bad, but it's mainly because I only do it for a hobby, and I'm not in it to make money, and I didn't want people to think that's why I was just trying to do these one thing every day.
Yeah.
So I picked kidney research, and yeah, it's 50% of every card. And because last year my mum and I shaved our heads for charity and raised like £2,000. I think
Wow.
about $3,000. I don't know how the exchange rate is at the moment. So I was like, what can I do this year? And once I decided I was going to be drawing, I was like, well, I could raise some money through the drawing and do it that way. So it's like, yeah, so it's 50% of every card, and it's been pretty good. Been a few that haven't sold, but yeah, on the whole, generally people have been very generous and all very much appreciated. There's just the two that got lost in the post. Oh man.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, I did Morgan Freeman and Tim Robbins, like a Shawshank duo, and the same guy bought them both, and he was in the UK, and I posted them to him, and a few weeks later I got a message saying, oh, have you sent the cards? I haven't received them, and I was like, oh man, don't tell me that. And yeah, they got lost, I don't know where, so I had to redraw them. I said to him, you know, I can give you your money back, and he's like, no, if you redraw them, that'll be fine. It's like, oh, great. So, yeah, but it's been really good, and yeah,
I remember seeing you redraw that card, actually, now that you mention it.
it pained me, Jeff. It pained me because the first, I really liked the original, and then I had to try and recreate it. So it was so tough. I just got about 20 minutes in, and I was just like, oh, I shouldn't have to do this.
Well, sometimes things get lost in the mail, and that's just...
It's true. It's true. But even the ones that go to New Zealand, you know, they make it fine.
Yeah.
I was just going across our little island over here, and they get lost somewhere. Who knows?
Oh man. Yeah, that sucks. I never have lost something permanently. I've had one disappear for a month and then show up, but
I just don't know where it is. You know, is it lost somewhere, or has somebody just picked it up and gone, oh, I'll have this?
yeah.
But hey, maybe it's better that I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's admirable to give away that money, because I know you sell well. I mean, I try to check out your auctions. They're tough to catch when you're just doing it like for 1 week, but
Yeah,
I noticed that most of them go and they go pretty quick.
yeah, I think I've got a dedicated following from somewhere who are just hanging on for those auctions. You know, there's people on Twitter who are always, when are you going to have the next auction? And so it's really you know, encouraging that people want to, and it's people coming back. It's like repeat business, if you like, which is amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not actively promoting myself really that much because it is only a hobby, and you know, I can't take on loads of commissions because I have the 9 to 5. But yeah, they seem to do pretty well, so it's very flattering, really. I'm a nobody, really.
I don't know about that. You can draw
Yeah,
pretty darn well.
that seems to be a stretch, sir. I disagree with your premise.
Yeah.
But it's good. I mean, next year's money raising scheme is to jump out of a plane with a parachute. My mum did it for her 60th birthday like 4 years ago. So she set the bar, and then my sister did it. My younger sister did it on Friday. So it's like, oh man, well, I suppose I'm next then.
That's amazing, and no thank you.
I'm with that. I can't see any good reason to jump out of a perfectly functioning airplane.
Yeah, that's never a good idea.
I don't know. I might chicken out. Who knows?
Jump out with like a sketch card or a sketch pad and do a card on the way down.
Like yeah, if I can draw something in between jumping out and then landing, and then I just hold it up.
You said you were getting them done in like an hour. You have to go up with like that one guy in the space capsule and.
I remember when I was younger, I wanted to jump a parachute out of a plane, and my mom and my brother Jimmy talked me out of it. It's like, it's like, I really wanted to do it, but they were like, no, it's so dangerous. So, it's like nobody survives.
Nobody survives. What are you, crazy? Yeah. Yeah, I got no interest in it. It's just Sounds scary.
My wife's the only sort of stumbling block, really. Everyone else is like, oh yeah, that'll be amazing, go for it. But my wife's like, oh, I don't know if your health insurance will cover that. Well, you know.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'll have someone strapped to my back who knows what he's doing, hopefully, so should be alright.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, see that only works because you're a skinny guy. I'm a fat guy, and even if I've got somebody strapped to me, I don't like the odds of that parachute holding.
But this is the problem, you see, 'cause it's not that I always wanted to do it, but when my mum did it 4 years ago,
Yeah.
he was like, yeah, you wouldn't be able to do it because you're too heavy, and there's a weight limit, and I had no idea. And I wasn't huge, but you know, I was slightly padded, and so in the last couple of years, I've sort of shifted the weight, and now I'm light enough to do it. It's like, well, all the hard work, I should really put it to good use. But yeah, just jump out of a plane. That's the first thing that springs to mind. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm gonna start telling people I'm slightly padded. I like that.
That is kind of amazing.
You know us British, we're always polite, so you know.
Yeah, that's like with your wife telling you about the insurance. My wife would just be like, "Are you fucking crazy?" Wouldn't be nice about it. So what else is going on this week? All you guys. Marshall.
Let's see, what else is going on this week? I don't really know. I'm kind of winding down from all that craziness. I got to jump back on the 100 Days, so I'll be jumping back on working on the Travelers and Resident Aliens, and nothing too exciting.
Yeah.
I think I want it that way because it's been crazy couple weeks. August is nuts for me. Like all my family's birthdays are in August, like late in August. My mom's is coming up. My wife's is in September, so it's like that comes right after it. So I don't know, just lots of stuff.
Yeah. So what are those other two books you're doing? Is that like an ongoing series or whatever? That Travelers and
The Travelers is an ongoing series. I mean, it might have an end at some point, but I mean, I'm just focusing on the first book. It's my buddy Shannon Owens, also known as Lyriz. He's a rapper, and he wrote it. And this is his first time trying to like write and stuff. But it's basically a father-son story sort of type of thing. But it has like sci-fi and like the sci-fi version of like vampires, and it has something to do with like space and stuff. I don't know. It's
Cool.
just beginning, so we have the first two issues written, but it's kind of tough because I have to draw a lot of like kind of not so exciting stuff to start it out and get things rolling, and so it's a little tough, but I'm pushing through it. That's why the 100 Days is so cool, because it's like even if you're not loving exactly what you're doing, you just kind of push through it and get to the good stuff.
yeah, I find that super helpful. Just having like the deadlines and stuff, and just got to get the video up. You got to do something. And it just I don't know. It's better than not drawing.
Yeah, absolutely. I really wanted to do this month. I wanted to finish a whole sketchbook in 1 month, and I wanted to just keep doing that every month. But just August sucks, so I have to move that same sketchbook over to next month, and we're gonna try again.
Yeah.
I just want to get like as much mileage as I can on my pencil, and I want like this time next year to be way better.
Absolutely. That's how you do it too. I used to just be a crazy sketcher. I just have stacks of them. I don't do them no more because I have so much work to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, that was like my thing. Was just drawing in my sketchbook, painting in my sketchbook all the time.
Yeah, that's the way you gotta do it. And I find that having goals that aren't, I talk about it on my podcast all the time, but like having goals that aren't necessarily like I want to write this amazing book or like draw this amazing comic.
Mhm.
Those kind of goals kind of screw me up. Like that, they always get so big and stuff. But if I can just make the goal, okay, I'm gonna draw a whole sketchbook a month. It's like it doesn't matter. They could all be sucky drawings, but as long as I do it, you know. And it's like it's more doable that way, and I don't know, better.
Yeah. I have a super hard time with that, you know. I'm always sort of thinking, well, like, you know, you put so much weight on every piece, you know what I mean? Like, this is gonna like make or break you, or this is like your career, or what's this gonna look like in your art book when you're like 80 years old? And it's just like, God, get that out of your head, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what a sketchbook is supposed to be for, but like a lot of people, including me, tend to want to make a pretty drawing in there. But if it's filled up with like, you know, just gesture drawings, you know, you have just gotten a lot better at gesture, you know. Maybe if
Yeah.
you draw like 100,000 hands, you know, you just got really a lot better at hands, you know.
I know it. It's pretty much impossible to draw 100,000 hands and not just be awesome at hands, I would think.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would do it and still be bad at it. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a really good idea, the sketchbook a month. That blows my mind if you could fill out a sketchbook every month. 'Cause, I try to fill one a year.
Yeah.
One thing I learned this month was to not buy such a thick sketchbook.
Get a skinny one.
Yeah.
Like, you keep it loose, you're not worried about making perfect pictures. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Just pure drilling and exercising, that's a good idea.
Also, draw very big.
Gaming the system, I like it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good idea.
I would love to do that one month where it's like every day you do a new sketch in a sketchbook, and at the end, I always thought, well, I'd love to just toss that up onto eBay, you know, because it will be full of sketches, and you just like, you know, auction the whole sketchbook.
Yeah. That guy Mike Hoffman I'm always talking about used to do that. He you know, he'd fill up one, I don't know, probably not even in a year. I mean, they'd go pretty quick, and he'd always do a little YouTube video and like flip through the whole thing and put it up on eBay and sell it. And a lot of, you know, like at one point he was trying to like do one of the John Carter books, like illustrated, and it just had all this John Carter sketches in there. It was really cool. I thought that was a great idea because they're all just kind of throwaway drawings, you know.
I wonder how much something like that goes for. I feel like you'd be spending a lot on something like that.
Yeah. His auctions went up pretty high. I don't remember. But
Wasn't there somebody, who's one of these famous artists? They sold their sketchbook and they like traded a couple of their sketchbooks for like a house.
oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who it was. I feel like it was like one of these underground comic artists, like, you know, the classic underground comic artists.
Oh, like Robert Crumb or somebody?
Yeah,
That
it
sounds super
might even
familiar.
have been him.
Yeah, that sounds super familiar now that I even said that. I wonder if it might have been. Because, like, you know, he used, like, the classic million sketchbook drawings, you know.
Yeah.
Always drawn in the sketchbook. I even think a lot of his underground comics were completely just drawn in the sketchbook, so pretty wild. Wonder what's going on with a lot of those underground guys, you know? I mean, I used to just be so into, like, the black and white comics and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Chester Brown and, you know, just all that. And I don't go to the comic shops and buy those comics anymore. And now it's like everything's online. Are those guys online too? I mean, where's Dave Sim at, you know?
Well, Dave Sim has a smaller project called Glamourpuss, and that is not online. Although I don't think it's got a print run where you'd see it in most comic stores.
Yeah.
But he's been doing that, and I think I heard something about them, like, basically re-releasing, like IDW or somebody was re-releasing Cerebus. I don't know.
Oh, really? Mm.
I keep seeing his name up in the news, but in the comics news, but he's kind of gotten out of. I mean, part of why Cerebus was so big was because it was that time and that place, and
Yeah, totally.
you know, and now we're kind of living in the aftermath of that. So
Yeah, I mean, in a way, he was like the breaking ground for all of us, and it's kind of funny that he's not in here with us now. You know, the whole one creator, one book kind of thing.
yeah,
One creator, one webcomic.
Yeah,
Well,
I've been
you know,
thinking. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I followed A Distant Soil was one of the real big independents I followed, and Colleen's on Facebook, and she's all over the internet. She's got her own website and stuff, and she's always posting new artwork. She's working on a Neil Gaiman book right now, and who else? She's on, well, Terry Moore, Strangers in Paradise. Um, is that the right name, Terry Moore?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. He's around. I don't know if he's that vocal and on social networking and whatnot, but I see interviews with him left and right. Yeah, there are like from way back. Oh, ElfQuest, the creators of ElfQuest. They're
Wendy
on
Penny.
Facebook. Yeah, and Richard, her husband, the writer.
They're probably getting pretty old now, though. I would think too. That's probably getting a lot of them. I know they were older than me back then, so they're still older than me. I'm getting old. I know, man. Poor Frank Miller. Have anybody seen the pictures of him lately?
Yeah, he does not look well.
I know.
Yeah.
There's got to be something else going on there. I think we actually talked about that in last Artcast. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up again.
Yep. No, I feel very concerned. I love Frank's work, and
yeah. But I looked like when I saw, there's been new pictures of him I've noticed on the net since that last one, and he's only like 57 or something. Like crazy. He looks like he's 80.
Yeah. He just did a Playboy interview, and they had a decent picture of him, which was mostly in shadow, but he still looked like not so well.
Yeah.
He looked like, he actually like lost a lot of weight or something went on with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard any updates.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Is he still producing stuff? I'm like so far out of like mainstream comics. I don't even know. Like, is he still doing Sin City, or is he just not?
He hasn't had a new Sin City in a while. I thought he was doing a follow up to 300, because they were making that sequel. But I honestly haven't. I kind of follow mainstream comics, but I don't much follow Frank Miller. So.
Right.
So, I think he's just been attached to, Hollywood and working on Sin City movie, and I'm not exactly sure how he makes a living, really.
He's probably got plenty of money from, he's had a pretty damn good career,
Yeah,
who knows, though? I don't know. Comics, a lot of those guys, they have awesome careers and don't have nothing at the end, so.
He probably makes decent money off of royalties, maybe. I don't know.
I would think. Don't you think? I mean, all that Sin City stuff, I'm sure he owns all that stuff. And they're still cranking out those graphic novels.
The comics and the toys, I don't know what he gets money from exactly, but.
Yeah. And then plus the movies. I mean, they're big movies, too.
Yeah.
So, who knows?
He's co-director on the new one, isn't he, I think?
Oh, he is?
Yeah. I'm just looking it up on IMDb. Co-writer, co-director, obviously.
Yeah. Just like the first one. Yeah.
Cool. Is that new Sin City? I mean, shit, I'm even out of that. Is that... I did see they're making a sequel to Sin City. Is it out already?
I think it comes out it may come out on Friday in the US, I think.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
I think, yeah. Like it's coming out this weekend.
Oh, maybe that's why all of a sudden there's pictures of him everywhere and stuff. That makes sense. Yeah. Well, I liked the first Sin City. I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know. You guys did.
It was funny. I kind of came into the whole Frank Miller thing basically when the book came out, Sin City. I didn't know really much about him before that too much, but
Yeah.
I was just over my buddy's house, and he was showing me some old Frank Miller stuff from just a bunch of old books, and I was like, holy crap, this guy has some drawing chops. Like I know that, he always had these like Ronin and obviously the Batman stuff, but it was like really stylized, and I kind of thought that was just his way of like trying to be an artist. I thought he was more a writer, but then I looked back at these old things, and I guess he used to. He was I think he worked with Neil Adams or something a lot, and he's really like a good just straight up artist too. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys already know that, but
yeah. Back when he was doing like Daredevil and stuff, he almost had that real Marvel style, and the Wolverine books and stuff. He's an awesome artist. I used
the
to like
Wolverine
his
stuff
though.
was great. That's what I was looking at, the old Wolverine stuff. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first issue of Daredevil, he looked a lot like Gil Kane in style, and it was very tight work. He loosened up over time, especially since he was falling behind on his Daredevil run. So his style got very loose and very simplistic over time. But yeah, he's got chops. It's sort of that thing that, if you're going to be a comic artist, it's not going to look like fine art if you want to try to keep a monthly schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually like the Sin City style and stuff better than the Daredevil stuff back then, but, it is a lot more simple and stuff. But
I personally, I think his early Sin City work is really like the sweet spot. That's where
I agree.
That's where he started doing some really, really challenging artwork and stuff that nobody else was doing, and the draftsmanship was there and the storytelling was there, and then kind of like the middle of Sin City's life cycle, it seems like he kind of got lazy a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, this is how I do it, and I know I'm sure he doesn't feel like it, but that's kind of what the reading experience is, like almost phoned in. Like, he doesn't do a second draft of any page or anything.
I kind of agree. Because that is like that first Sin City book, and even like the second one, the one with Marv and everything. That was just, that was a freaking, groundbreaking everything. I remember when I saw that, I was just like, holy shit, And I agree. It's not the same with Sin City anymore. It's just I don't know. But then I liked 300 too. I thought that was pretty damn good too.
I haven't actually read the comic of it, so I probably
yeah.
On some level I'm probably talking out of my ass on that, but from what I've seen of it, there's bits of it that are like, yeah, that's the classic stuff, and then I've seen other pages from it that are like, that's disappointing. Come on, man.
I really
like. Was better.
I really like the Daredevil Elektra. I don't know if you guys seen it. It's like the kind of the sequel to his Elektra run. You ever see it? It came out like in a hardback book, like a white one. I think it's called Elektra Lives or something like that.
Painted by his wife.
Painted by his wife, yeah. Lynn Barley, I think her name is.
Yeah, Barley. Yeah, it was gorgeous. I thought it was, it was a little bizarre looking, but I thought it worked really well, and it looked really beautiful, and the storytelling was really good at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on my reading list.
Frank Miller, he changed comics. You know what I mean? You can't, and you hear a lot of stuff bad about him now on the net and stuff, but The Dark Knight freaking put comics on its head, I don't know. Nobody's done that since, I don't think.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that combined with Watchmen, I think, really made comics a whole different thing.
Absolutely. And a lot of people say it wrecked comics and stuff, but it's like it wrecked it for some people. I think it made it for others. I don't know.
Well, I think the only reason why it happened like that was because that's what everybody kind of wanted. But at that point, people wanted to, stop having kind of these silly comics, because that's what it basically came out of. That time, that period right before then was kind of some really silly stuff going on, and people wanted the realism. And they kind of brought that realism and darkness, and now people want something a little bit different. But I don't know. That was the time of that they came like right at the right time.
That is true. A lot of people, they don't look at it, when they look at this stuff later on, they don't look at it when it came out in the time period and with the attitudes that it was, what was going on. They look at it from like what they think now, and you're right. I agree. It had completely like everything to do with like that time period, and like that part of it was there was just nothing like that in comics. Now that you see stuff that has aped it forever, so it's not maybe as groundbreaking, but and the same thing with Watchmen. When you read Watchmen back then, it was like a hell of a lot different than reading it now.
Well, it's like you see what is it, like how dark like all the DC movies are and stuff, and even like Superman, and now the Superman Batman thing. It's like,
yeah,
Superman doesn't really make trying to do it the way you would do a dark Batman. It just, I don't really love it that much, and I think a lot of people don't really love it that much. But then Guardians of the Galaxy comes out, is a whole different vibe, and people are loving it. Now the tide's changing a little more that way.
Yeah, you're right.
The Superman versus Batman, or Batman versus Superman, whatever it is, looks very much like The Dark Knight Returns. Looks like they're taking a lot of the story from that and putting it into that movie.
Yeah.
And see, that's a big part of why I kind of, I mean, granted, I don't have a lot of interest or patience for this flick because I saw Man of Steel, and I'm not doing that to myself again. But
careful, Peter liked that movie.
Say what?
I said, careful, Peter liked that movie.
Peter's allowed to like that movie. I'm allowed to talk shit about it. That's. But
last time when I was going off on it.
But no, the other thing that really kind of irks me about it is that we still haven't taken the lesson of The Dark Knight Returns when it originally came out, and we're just kind of reliving this thing. Again, this is just the new thing that we're reliving for the last 30 years. The thing I've been griping to everybody who'll listen online is, I can't wait for Batman to beat Superman. That'll be so crazy, and nobody will expect that again. It's like this is just instead of trying to make a new Dark Knight Returns that really makes an impression on people, and we're just gonna put him in the power armor and call it good. And I think Marvel now has kind of taken the lessons of Watchmen and Dark Knight Returns and saying, hey, we've got something for everybody. We got the serious flicks, we've got the almost comedy flicks, we've got everything's kind of hitting something different, and DC is just like, let's make everything Batman.
Yeah.
Right.
I really hope that DC ends up taking a cue, from them, and I hope Marvel continues as well to, I don't know, you guys probably know better than I do, but, Guardians of the Galaxy, I didn't even know that was a comic book until the movie came out. So, I hope that DC starts getting into some of these lesser-known properties, and also my biggest thing is I would love to see them jump on some of Kirby's create stuff that he basically had all control of, New Gods and Eternals, and
that would be cool.
Commandy would be cool. I don't know, all that stuff would be awesome. But they'd probably screw it up, and every Kirby fan would hate it. So I don't know.
It'll just be Darkseid. In everything.
True.
Yeah, I know. I wonder where Marvel's gonna go with the Avengers and all that kind of stuff. That's interesting.
Wait, did you see the poster for Avengers 2?
No.
There's 3 posters that join together with all the Avengers and the new characters, and fighting 100 Ultrons.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
It's a beautiful painting.
Oh, I think I did see that. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was specifically for the movie, though. I just thought it was some painting that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's as far as I know that's going to be the posters for it, unless they just come up with new ones when the movie comes around. But
I think the thing
it
that
looks
like we're gonna
it looks really exciting.
yeah. I think the thing that looks kind of cool about that Batman versus Superman movie is like the shots of Wonder Woman in it. I kind of
Yeah,
want to see it just
definitely.
because Wonder Woman. That looks like a cool outfit and stuff. I don't know. I guess I jump into the fan stuff too.
Yeah.
I like those movies. I like good movies.
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much enjoy all those movies. Like, I mean, I haven't even seen the new Superman, or some of them I haven't seen, but I generally like them. I take them for what they are. I know they're going to be something different and weird, and
Yeah.
it is what it is. Enjoy it for what it is, and
And
I
I
mean,
did.
we're so lucky that we have this stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
how long were we fiending for just one good superhero movie, and now it's just everywhere.
I know. I know it was
I
just so
remember-
crazy, like to even think that like a superhero movie could even make it before like the first Batman movie, like the Tim Burton Batman movie came out.
Yeah.
Everybody, it was just like impossible to do a superhero movie back then. You know, they'd all turn out like Swamp Thing or something.
I think the best, like the first really good movie, superhero movie, was Blade.
Blade.
Yeah, that was really the one that kind of kicked it off for this iteration of the superhero movie, because that was what kind of convinced Fox that an X-Men movie would work, and they had the rights.
Yeah.
So
Did you guys dig those X-Men movies? So I just never could get into the X-Men. Like for the, I just still don't even know if I like them. I mean,
depends on which flicks you're talking about.
Same thing. I dig them for what they are.
yeah.
I haven't seen the Wolverine one yet. I heard that one kind of sucked.
Mm.
They're not perfect.
Yeah. I did see the last Wolverine one just because I did that, Wolverine commission or whatever. And I actually liked it. I don't know. I liked it better than like the first X-Men movies I saw at the theater back in the day. So I don't know. I haven't kept up with them. I need to like watch them all. So.
If you're not expecting the comic, and if you're not critiquing them, they're good just to enjoy.
Just for fun.
Yeah, they could be so much better.
Yeah.
That's the viewpoint where I come in, because that's why I've been quiet for the last 10 minutes, because I'm not a comic book reader, so I was very much from the viewpoint of I know nothing about, well, I would say I know something about the characters, but not the in-depth history of them. So for me, seeing the movies that's kind of my first experience of them. And I think that's why I enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy so much, because it was kind of just out of left field. When I heard about it, and it was like a talking raccoon in a tree. What? But the way they handled it, from a movie goer's point of view rather than a comic book fan point of view, it was amazing. And it's #1 again after a month. That says a lot. But yeah, I'm a Christopher Reeve Superman fan.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I grew up with. That's what I used to draw over and over again when I was 5.
Oh, you know what I heard? And this could be what we can do for the Art Challenge next month. I heard they're bringing Betty Page, or they're doing another Betty Page movie.
Yeah.
So we can do I'll look it up, but yeah, they might be doing another Betty Page movie. I think the guy that does American Idol used to do it. Simon is going to produce or something.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Like American Idol, I was like, what movie is that? Oh, right. That's funny. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm up for it. I was thinking maybe we could throw some suggestions and everybody vote or something. I don't know if anybody wants to get into that, but.
Yeah.
Do you want to do it that way? That's fine.
Well, I meant like vote on the forum. Like everybody can get in on it, not just in this room.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, we don't care about those other guys. If they wanted to vote, they should have been here. I don't know.
Yeah, they're not the hardcore Artcasters.
I think that sounds like a blast. I'd love to do a Betty Page piece. I think, I'm all into that fandom and everything. There's another guy who did an awesome comic, Dave Stevens, man. Can't believe he's dead.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
That was another good movie that underrated. Rocketeer movie. That was pretty cool.
I really like that. Yeah. It was,
I need to see it again because when it came out, I was like 8 and was completely not the target audience for this period piece. You know, like the whole middle section is plot, and I didn't care about the romance. I was like, this is stupid. Why are we here?
Yeah.
I want to see that as an adult now because I think I'd appreciate it a lot better.
Yeah. I remember taking my little brother to it, and he hated it. So maybe this wasn't for kids.
It really late.
What did you say, Dave?
I think I came to The Rocketeer really late. I think I only watched it after seeing Joe Johnston, after he directed Captain America. I just loved the way he handled the 40s style. And because he did Rocketeer, you know, 20 years earlier, I was like, man, I need to go and see that. And he got the classic British villain with his little Tash, played by Tim Dalton, and Jennifer Connelly. I loved it. It was brilliant. It's one of them. If I'd seen it when I was little, I know I would have loved it.
Dalton is such an amazing villain actor. Like,
he's brilliant.
He chews scenery so just awesomely. I love it. He's a joy to watch.
Was that the same director that did Captain America and Rocketeer?
I didn't realize that.
I'm pretty sure it's Joe Johnston.
Well, see, I was watching Captain America, and I'm a big fan of that Rocketeer movie, and I'm sitting there thinking they need to come out with a new trilogy of Rocketeer because there's been so many stories, and do it just like Captain America as far as the look and feel. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I love that whole Rocketeer vibe, the retro, the Art Deco, all that. Especially the end credits. One of my favorite things. I like design too. Comic art and design, but they put it together in the end credits of Captain America too. Or Captain America, the first one.
Yeah.
At the end, the credits were one of my favorite parts. the design and all that.
I know, I love that Captain America movie, and I'm almost kind of sad it had to move out of that time period, and I think that's why, it's like Raiders of the Lost Ark for, like, our
we watched the second one. We watched The Winter Soldier just last week, and it was a good film, but I think I preferred the first one. Just because that 40s style, you don't really see it that often in, like, a huge summer movie.
Yeah.
It kind of harks back to Raiders, and that's why I love those so much as well. It's a bygone era sort of thing, and it's a great setting for that sort of film.
Yeah.
Well, it's like with the new X-Men movies, them being in the 60s and 70s. It's just that it's like today is boring, but era's gone by.
All the good stuff is gone.
That's how I would that's what I would love to see for an X-Men movie, man, was that if they really brought it back and made it almost like a black and white movie, and just made it have that feel that the old first X-Men books had, with the cheesy Danger Room and everything, and just have fun with it. But then also with the CGI that we have now, they can still get the fantastic stuff in there, and it would be cool. The way I think of it is how when Marvels came out, how amazed I think we all were when we saw that. It was seen from the point of view of the journalist. I feel like that kind of feel in an old school X-Men movie would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting for when they do a superhero movie, but in CGI, just a really good animated.
Just straight in CGI.
Yeah, just totally animated.
Yeah, I'm sure it would look awesome.
I don't know. I mean, what about? Oh, Incredibles. I was gonna say, what about Tintin? That that's kind of what you're talking about. But I don't know. There's something about that kind of animation that kind of takes me out of it. I almost wanted to see it just do it real,
Well, that was them doing a sort of realistic version of the strip.
Yeah.
I'm talking about doing it a little more like How to Train Your Dragon. It's a little more stylized,
that would be cool. Like he was saying, The Incredibles, like Eric was saying.
There's a new one coming out. I don't know if you heard. It's called Big Hero 6. Disney, look it up. It's Big Hero 6, and Disney's producing it.
Yeah, that's
It's supposed to be based on an obscure Marvel comic, apparently. So it's the first true culmination of Marvel and Disney together, apparently.
Yeah, except Marvel's kind of backing off from it, which surprises me.
Are they? I don't know much about it.
Yeah, they they're not really pushing the Marvel angle much, except for a blurb on the trailer that says, from the Marvel comic.
Have like Marvel logo in the beginning or anything? You think?
No, they haven't on any of the. They haven't had that on any of the trailers, or they're not doing the Marvel scroll. Marvel's not releasing any trade paperbacks or collections of their previous appearances. Like, there's a real distance there, and kind of the thing I've heard is that they're not getting all the profits, so they don't want to. So Marvel, as a semi-independent entity, doesn't want to expend their energy trying to promote it or anything, because they're not. They're only going to see a fraction of it, but I still think it's just odd. It strikes me as strange.
It's almost like they sold the rights, gave Disney the license, whatever, to do it, and then just Disney's doing whatever. They changed the look entirely, the feel of it entirely, based on what I saw from a couple pictures of the actual comic. Look-wise, so Marvel may have completely gone a different direction than the original Marvel comic, and maybe Marvel doesn't want anything. They probably don't want their name on it or something. I don't know.
Well, maybe that's why, because Marvel's doing their movies and they're kind of like real, and then Disney's got like their sort of style, and maybe they're trying to make it a Disney thing, like towards a different age group or something.
Yeah, make it a completely different brand or something.
Yeah.
Well, I think companies have a hard time communicating with themselves, even if it's a different branch within the company. It might be just like between Disney and Pixar and Marvel, and difficult to all work together.
Yeah. And there's a new Mad Max movie coming out.
Really?
You guys seen that?
That looks amazing.
The trailer looks awesome.
I don't know. I'm so worried they're gonna wreck it. I mean, how can you remake that Road Warrior movie? That fucking movie is so perfect.
But it's not. I will say it's not a remake though. It's a sequel.
It is, really?
Yeah, like it is not. They're not going back to the beginning. It's.
Oh, good.
I just actually recently saw the first one, and I've never seen it before. And
Mad Max or Road Warrior, actually?
The first Mad Max. It was just Mad Max.
I meant Road Warrior when I was talking about it, but yeah, Mad Max was the first one.
Yeah, no, I realized that. I think the Road Warrior, was that the second one or something? Or?
Yeah, it was actually the second one. But that was the one that kind of everybody noticed.
That's what I'm saying. Like I was like, oh, this is going to be cool. I think I already saw it. Like I saw the third one, and I thought that was cool. So I was like, okay, this is going to be cool. And I'm like, they're just like driving around the desert, and it's like normal time. Like I thought there was supposed to be like an apocalypse or something, or I don't know. It was like so weird. I was like, this isn't even that great, but I definitely wanted to see the second one.
The second one is the one that's awesome. That's like the movie that blew it up. The first one was kind of just like a low budget. Nobody cared about it until the second one came out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Road Warrior.
I think the first one was like an Australian film or something.
Yeah.
No, they're all down there.
I would have thought so.
Well,
they're all down there.
I think it was not distributed in America. I'm not even sure.
Oh, well, that could be. Yeah, it might not even hit the theaters here.
I was gonna say it would be very difficult for Max to drive to someplace else.
That's a good point.
Mad Max 3, this time in Brazil. How did he get there?
I don't know. To me, yeah, dude, Marshall, check out the second one. To me, is like the perfect movie. I don't think you could write a better movie than that movie. Yeah. That's like a movie that I don't even care if it's like on TV, whatever. I gotta keep watching it. I cannot turn that thing off. Even if the commercials are killing me, they cut it to hell. It's just such a good movie. You gotta watch it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to watch it. I hope it's on Netflix or something.
Yeah.
I do that so often when there's a movie on late night and you're about to switch off.
Yeah.
The channel. You're like, oh man, I love this film, and even though I've got it on DVD just to my left, I'm watching actual invert. It's like, what are you doing? It's not even in HD. You're an idiot. But I love it. I think the three that I always do that with is Back to the Future, Raiders, and Jaws. Those three I have to watch through till the end. You know, there's no stopping me. But it's just like, no, it finishes at 1. Leave me alone.
Absolutely. I'm the same way with Jaws. I've done that a couple times on TV where it's like, I got stuff to do. I can't watch this. I keep coming back and watching it.
Well, actually, I found because we're moving house, I've been sorting out a load of stuff, and I found, I guess it's my first sketchbook that I ever did, from 1983 with Superman on the front there, and in there I talk about Jaws. I think I must have seen it at the age of 6, and
wow.
I'm just like, oh, it says I am scared of Jaws. And that was basically my review. But yeah, it's one of those films I've watched so many times now. You get a different appreciation for it every time you watch it. And
yeah. Yeah.
That's a great movie.
You can't remake it.
Oh, I know. See, that's what's killing me about these remakes. And when I saw that Road Warrior thing, I'm like, man, it's like I don't want them to remake Raiders of the Lost Ark. You know what I mean? I don't want them to remake like my favorite movies of all fucking time and you know, CG the hell out of them.
They'll always
I don't know.
The original will always be there.
Right, but you know what I'm saying, though. Just
Isn't
makes me
Mad
mad.
Max the same director as the original? Isn't it George Miller?
Is it really?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
it
it's the director.
is.
Oh, wow. Okay, maybe I'm all...
He had enough of directing Babe and came back to Mad Max.
The latest Star Wars that came out were the same director too, but not everybody loved that.
That's very true.
Well, I think George Lucas is always kind of not a great director, but I think he kind of bought into his own press and was like, I have to direct these new movies. And it,
Well,
it
yeah.
didn't work out that way.
He didn't actually direct Empire, and I don't think he directed Jedi either. Just
No.
Star Wars. Yeah. So I don't know. I agree. I don't think that George Lucas. But then I don't know. I mean, when you think about like great movies, I mean, American Graffiti. That's a great movie. You know, that is great directing right there. So I don't know. I don't know what the hell happened with Episode 1 and all that stuff.
I mean, I still like all 6 of them anyways, but that's just me.
I've actually grown to have an appreciation for them just because I'm always drawing sketch cards of them and stuff. I've watched them enough that now I kind of like them.
Yeah.
Now I'm ready for the next 3, so I can hate the next 3.
I'm actually really excited for those. I think J.J. Abrams is actually the right guy to take that over for a while.
I'm definitely looking forward to them.
I'm looking forward to spin-offs as well.
JJ's doing the first one, and what is it? Rain Johnson is doing 8 and 9.
Yeah.
Who's this Rain Johnson? What's he done?
He did
Brick.
Looper.
What?
Looper.
Yeah.
Brick.
I don't know.
If you haven't
Brothers.
seen Looper, it's really, really good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Smart sci-fi edge to it. It's got Bruce Willis in it, and really, really good.
My feed cut out for a second. Where the Looper guy is doing the 7th, or is doing the next 2 after. Is that what I heard?
Yep.
That's what.
That is the greatest news I have heard all month.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Looper was just amazing.
I'll have to try to find that and watch it.
It's really good.
I've never seen it either.
I heartily recommend it because it was very back to basic sci-fi. It's what sci-fi used to be good at, where you take a very simple premise of something that changes or something, in society, in this case time travel, and then extrapolate it out into some, as far as it'll go. But it's very, very clever characters, very clever writing. Like, I don't know, the first time I watched it, it just knocked my socks off. So
It's got Joseph Gordon-Levitt in it as well, who plays the younger version of Bruce Willis's character, and they used some really, really subtle prosthetics on him. And I swear, you look at him and you just think, man, how did they get Bruce Willis to look so young? But it's really, really cool. Really cool.
That's cool.
And then I think isn't the guy who did the Godzilla film doing one of the spin-offs, the Boba Fett spin-off maybe?
I haven't heard anything about the spin-offs at all.
I
they're
think,
doing It was,
yeah.
I think it was all rumours, really, wasn't it? But it was supposed to be like a Yoda film and a young Han Solo film, and
What about the Jar Jar film?
that's the one I'm waiting for.
That's an ongoing series right there. Okay, so we're coming up on 5 o'clock. Unless anybody has real urgent pressing issues that they want to discuss, I think we'll roll into a countdown on this episode.
Okay.
So,
We got up on the
what's that?
movie tangent again. We always do that.
That's because Peter's here. I think that's
yeah.
anytime you're in the vicinity of Peter, you're gonna get that.
We haven't even scraped the surface. But, okay,
it's always a fun conversation, though.
yeah. And there's a lot of cool movies coming out, and there's a lot more bad remakes coming out. But we'll just go through the group. So Dave, great having you on for the first time. Great meeting you.
It was a good first episode. Really enjoyed it. It's good to chat with you all. You can find me on Facebook, Dave Gaskin Illustration, and on Twitter and DeviantArt as Biker Scout. Yeah, hopefully I'll make it to another one soon.
Cool.
Awesome.
And Eric, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Thank you very much. It was good meeting you guys, and found it all really interesting. And I kind of dropped out during the Frank Miller. I don't follow him too closely, but it's all been really, really cool talking shop with you guys and talking about all this. And you can find me at on Twitter and Facebook and my own website, Eric Web Graphics.
It's ERYCK, Eric.
Yeah, gotta make it.
And Jeff, we know who you are.
Let's all say a site at the same time.
All right, I'll see all you guys on the Artcasters Facebook group.
Yes, that's right. And that is like doubled in size.
It's gonna take over the world.
That is the plan. And John, the only one of us really working.
Yeah, that's me. I'm the workhorse. I've been doing tomorrow's update page of Everyday Abnormal, available at everydayabnormal.thecomicseries.com. Also on Facebook, and have a Patreon page somehow. So, not sure how that happened.
Cool.
Well, thanks for coming, John.
Always.
And Marshall?
DonkeyJawProjects.com. It was fun talking, guys.
Yeah, great to have you on again.
Thanks.
All right, so
And Peter
I'll post this-
Palmiotti.
and
From
Peter Palmiotti.
PeterPalmiotti.com.
Who?
No, there is
Soon
no
to be
Peter
humanartstudios.com.
HumanArtStudios.com. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which I actually just got online just now.
that's right. So it'll be up very soon.
Oh, cool. You guys are double teaming it, putting it together.
He's what is it called? Hosting? He's hosting for me.
Helping with the hosting.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's awesome like that.
Thanks.
All right, so yeah, so comment below if you're watching this in the future, and like and share with your friends, and come on, we love artists. I want to get a couple of writers on board as well. It'd be an interesting mix, but yeah, and join the Facebook group. I'll put all the links below.